just love and grace for everyone, for everyone. Yeah, for my song is love, love to the loveless show, and it goes on. You don't have to be alone.
Your heavy heart is made of stone, and it's so hard to see you clearly. You don't have to be on your own. You don't have to be on your own.
And I'm not gonna take it back. And I'm not gonna say I don't mean that. You're the target that I'm aiming at. Got to get that message home.
My song is love. My song is love, I know. And I'm on fire for you. Clearly, you don't have to be alone. You don't have to be on your own.
And I'm not gonna take it back. And I'm not gonna say I don't mean that. You're the target that I'm aiming at. And I'm nothing on my own. Gotta get that message home. My song is love, I know. And I've got to get that message home.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We wanted to highlight a couple of different ways that you can be involved in sharing your love here at Central and in Summit. So it's Valentine's Day for our premiere and maybe a couple of days past Valentine's Day, but that's actually perfect. We encourage you to run out, well, you can walk, to the local grocery store or CVS, your local pharmacy, and to pick up a couple of Valentines. It's okay if it's past Valentine's Day because all during February, we're going to be dropping off little Valentines just like this to the residents at the Vito Gallo Senior Center. We know that during the pandemic that there is also a pandemic of real loneliness. And so we're trying to spread some love and some cheer. We encourage you with our take-home Love Jesus kits to make the crafts and to make the activities with your kids, and consider dropping some of those back off here at the church. You can drop off Valentines or crafts, whether they come from the kits or ones at home, anytime here at Central Pres at the Maple Street mail slot. We have a collection bin ready for them, and we'll take them over to Vito Gallo to share the love with the residents there. Thanks so much for showing your love this Valentine's Day. We're delighted that you're worshiping with us today, and we have some very special guests talking to you today about different ways that we as Summit have responded to the pandemic. A few days ago, I was talking to a friend at Summit Warm Hearts about all of the different ways that people are being creative and sharing and showing generosity. And she said, it's like love has gone viral. Now, all of us grieve the terrible losses of this pandemic. We have all lost friends, family, loved ones. But we also know that at the heart of this terrible virus, there's also been an incredible response of love, of hope, and of generosity. And so for our Wave service this month, we're focusing on love gone viral, how people are responding to the pandemic. I hope that you enjoy hearing from our special guests today about Bridges, Family Promise, and Grace, three of the ways that Summit has responded to this incredible need with incredible love and generosity.
Hi, my name is Jessica Mills, and I'm a church member and deacon here at CPC. Pastor Deborah has asked me to speak today about Bridges Outreach and the work that they're doing both in Newark and here in Summit since the pandemic began. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with Bridges, Bridges is a local service agency providing brown bag meals, toiletry kits, cups of soup, and donated clothes to those who are experiencing homelessness. In addition to street outreach, they provide case management services at Project Connect in Newark. Bridges' mission is to end homelessness through volunteer-driven outreach and individual case management focusing on health, housing, and independence. Since the pandemic began, Bridges has been on the ground running. I have been a board member there for almost a year and a volunteer there for many. Prior to having kids, I was a licensed clinical social worker at Mount Sinai Hospital in Manhattan. I loved being a social worker, and I knew once I moved to Summit and stopped working, I wanted to get more involved and volunteer locally. A close friend of mine introduced me to Bridges, and after volunteering there for a few years, I knew I wanted to be more involved. I love Bridges' mission, which is to end homelessness, not to temporarily assist those who are experiencing homelessness. I was fortunate enough to be asked to be on the board, and since then, I have been impressed and in awe by both the executive director and the entire board in regard to how passionate, aligned, and hardworking everyone is. I wanted to share a few of the latest outreach statistics. From April 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2020, they have had 6,852 engagements on the street and 1,185 shelter placements. Bridges has been able to continue to work with all the roadblocks and obstacles that COVID has caused. Bridges has not slowed down. They're out there every day and night doing their midnight runs. They were able to shift overnight and provide these much-needed services to those who are the most in need. I did want to provide one example where Bridges has gone above and beyond here in Summit. Back when the nor'easter was coming in December, Bridges, along with CPC and the Summit Interfaith Council, Summit Warm Hearts, came up with a plan to get 14 of the Summit street homeless off the street and in a safe place to weather the storm. They put them up in the Best Western in New Providence, arranged for daily meals to be delivered, and the plan was for them to stay 3 nights. However, they're still staying there today. Not only are they getting 3 meals delivered that are being provided by restaurants through Flag and daily lunches by ship, but Bridges has arranged for the case manager from Project Connect in Newark to assist them with their most basic needs. Grace has also been involved providing their services. Bridges has hired a dedicated liaison to assist them with transportation to and from the hotel and to identify any personal needs they may have. Bridges also arranged for Summit Medical Group's mobile health unit to come to the hotel and provide COVID tests for all of them. The goal for Bridges is to work with each client so that by the end of March they have permanent housing. That way, when the next nor'easter or next winter comes, finding temporary shelter will not be an issue. I wanted to share a few pictures from this experience. In these first few pictures, you can see Amanda from Grace conducting interviews with the clients. And in this last picture, it's a picture of the mobile health unit that came from Summit Medical Group to provide these COVID tests. This has been a powerful and unique opportunity that the pandemic has provided Bridges. Bridges continues to provide outreach and sheltering every day while working towards the goal of ending homelessness. Thank you so much for having me speak today about a wonderful local service provider and one that I'm proud to be a part of.
Hi, I'm Leah Griffith, a longtime member of Central Presbyterian Church, as well as chair of the Hands-On Mission Committee at church. And I am here to talk about an organization near and dear to my heart, Family Promise. I also serve as the National Board Chair of Family Promise. So this year, volunteering at Family Promise has looked different. And I wanted to talk about the ways we as a church have responded to their needs and how Family Promise as an organization has responded to the needs of the families that we serve. Early on in the pandemic, when, as many of you know, we host families in our church. They live here for a period of 1 to 2 weeks, and we serve them meals, and we really kind of sit with them in community. And during a pandemic, that obviously can't happen. As a church, we responded really quickly. The mission team provided funding for temporary shelter in apartments in downtown Elizabeth because we could not host because the church was closed. And the Hands-On Mission team responded by providing groceries to all of the families. So we, got lists and we went shopping and we had people deliver. So it was kind of a big group effort. And we supported the families in that way. Additionally, we've gone on to provide meals for the families throughout the week and provide for special occasions, for birthdays, for Mother's Day, things like that. Really just trying to support the families and maintain that connection. Family Promise and Central Presbyterian Church have enjoyed a really long history together. Family Promise, the mission of supporting families at risk is something that the mission team has supported for a long time. And the Hands-On Mission team, it's really been an incredible volunteer experience for our volunteers. So during this pandemic, we just switched the way in which we volunteer. So some of the things that Family Promise has added are virtual tutoring. So we have high school kids tutoring virtually to our homeless family, the children who are in virtual school. We have been providing photographs of all of the families so that we get to see them and understand who they are, and also having the volunteers provide photos and bios so that the families know who we are. So we're trying to really create that community. Additionally, we've pivoted to looking to train volunteers to provide work around things like credit repair, health and wellness, all kinds of things. So while it's been difficult, it's been really rewarding to continue the relationship and really respond in ways that we, didn't picture having to respond to, and just continue this great relationship and support these families that really need our help during this really difficult time. And then the last thing I would add is that we've had confirmation groups and groups in the church who've done coat drives, hat and mitten and glove drives, cleaning supply drives to, again, provide for these families during this time. So we're grateful to the mission team and the Hands-On Mission team to continuing our relationship to support these families.
Hi, I'm Jenny Fosgate, and this is my daughter Harper, and we're here to talk a little bit about Grace and how we got involved with Grace during the pandemic. We live over by Memorial Field, and when things started to slow down, we sort of quickly saw out our window with our, own eyes sort of the need for what was going on with Grace. Grace is an organization. Amanda Block has done a great job where she helps families in Summit. It feeds them. It used to be a small number of families, 10, 15, 20, that they would come and sort of grocery shop within her pantries. She called it Grace's Pantry for items and foods that they needed. But as the pandemic hit, her numbers just exploded to upwards of 500 families. And just living in the Memorial Field area, the whole neighborhood sort of rallied behind her and tried to get involved with helping her, starting with food drives. And then the girls and I, my husband, got involved quickly by going over to help sort, the beans and the rice and the dairy and the cheese, and, going over early on Saturday mornings to unload the produce trucks and just really helping her as much as we could, because there was suddenly a huge need to get involved. I know that my ninth grader also got involved with a service project through CPC and helped out organizing and sorting as much as she could. I also tried to get local businesses involved. I work at Lois Schneider, so we did a drive at Lois Schneider to help raise money for Amanda and for Grace's Pantry, which was great. But it's been very rewarding for our family to help as things slowed down during the pandemic, and we had less to do, so there was more time for us to go help Amanda and Grace. And Harper, I know, tries to go week to week as she can.
Yeah, I started out kind of just going by myself because it was just something to do when I had free time. And it was really amazing to start because I met a lot of really awesome people, and it was just a really great community, and it really made you feel like you were doing something good. And then I got my younger sister involved with me, and the two of us would walk over to the field because we live so close. So it was such easy access for us to be able to get over there and feel like we were really doing something with our time other than just sitting around during the pandemic. And And then I eventually reached out to some of my friends and said, hey, there's this great organization called Grace Pantry, centralized at Memorial Field. If you want to come help me volunteer with me, that'd be great, because they need more people right now, because as my mom said, who they were reaching out to, the families really shot up during the pandemic, and it was really kind of shocking to see at first, because I never really realized that was something that was such a big need. And so my friends ultimately got involved, and I'd go over there with 3 or 4 of us, and we'd stay there for a couple hours. And it was really nice because all the doors were open. We were outside, we were sorting, we were really helping out, and the people were so friendly too. So it was a really good thing to do with our time during the pandemic, because there wasn't a lot going on elsewhere. So
Exactly. So it's been a nice experience for our family, and was a really great thing to do during the pandemic. And we still try to get over there as much as we can, even though life has suddenly picked back up at a more normal pace, hopefully each day.
yes.
In 1 John chapter 4, verse 7, it says, "Beloved, let us love one another, because love is from God. Everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, for God is love." It's a pretty powerful verse. I actually learned that verse in Sunday school with a little song that goes around in my head. And whenever I think about showing love, I think about that verse from Scripture. God is love. And it reminds me that every time we reach out and we share and we give of ourselves, that we are showing God's love to each other. I am so grateful to serve here at Central, to be inspired by our amazing members, for their gifts, for service, for grace, for sharing, the outstanding generosity of this community. It is a powerful testament to God's love and grace. Thank you so much for sharing in all of these stories today. We really appreciate hearing all of the ways that Central's people have responded to the pandemic. And we are so grateful that even in this dark time, this time of loss and sadness, that love has been the response, that generosity has been the response, that caring has been the response over and over. And as terrible as this virus has been, that the response of love has been even greater. May God bless you and keep you. Alleluia. Amen.
River of gladness fill my soul. Jesus, you're my greatest thought. God, I know. I see the light, I see the lightning. I hear your voice inside the cracking thunder, singing. Nothing stands between us, oh, nothing stands between us but love now. Nothing stands between us, oh, nothing stands between us but love. River of gladness, take control. There's a cup of joy for every taste of sorrow. I see the light, I see the lightning. I hear your voice inside the cracking thunder, singing. Nothing stands between us, oh, nothing stands between thunder and the lightning.
I certainly hope that you've enjoyed hearing the stories of how folks are serving others, helping others in the community around us. You know, I also hope that those stories inspire you to do something to help somebody else, because you can do something to make life better for somebody else, to make the world a little brighter. And I hope that you will take this opportunity this month to show something of God's love to somebody else. You can find ways to serve on our church's website, to be sure. You can probably find ways to serve on a church's website wherever you are. And you can always just pick up the phone or smile at a neighbor or offer to help somebody who lives near you. There are so many ways for all of us to share the love of God in Jesus Christ. And I hope this week that you'll find ways to do that in your life, in your neighborhood, in your community. God bless you, and have a great week.